Just on the consistency front, and I know I've spoken about it. We've all spoken about it all season about this feeling. I did have took a little step back from that after the game on Tuesday, and we're now talking about actually Ipswich are quite good at nipping bad moments in the bud over the course of the season. The response to what have been the moments really sort of the slow start, which I think we can kind of explain away to a degree about the sort of the late business, which is ultimately if they do fall short, that is something that needs to be under the spotlight. That did they give themselves the best chance to hit the ground running when they knew for quite a long time that they were coming into this division? Easier said than done, but park that little bit of the season for a start. Then you got the Borough Charlton back-to-back defeats, and then went on a decent little run off the back of that. Oxford Blackburn was another little sort of blip moment, then went and beat Coventry. And then, Sheffield United, Preston recently, go to Derby and win, Wrexham, and we talked about the comeback from that. So for all the talk about character as this team, when the pressure is, when the noise around them has kind of intensified the most, they have responded, which is good. And then on the consistency point, I looked at it, Borough have now dropped points in their last 3 games. Ipswich have not gone longer than 2 matches without winning since August, since the summer window shut. No other team in the division has done that. So by that logic, Ipswich are actually one of the most consistent teams in the division. And we keep talking about runs and they need to go on a run. Sometimes it's just about consistency and keep ticking along at that 2 points a game, magic marker, which they've just done in the last 3, which they've done pretty consistently. As I say, since sort of August time onwards, 6 points from the next 3 games would tick that. I'd hope for more from those, but that wouldn't 6 points would be okay. I think that might get them over the line if they can continue doing that between now and the end of the season.
I think it's so easy to compare sometimes, isn't it? Where I look at maybe floors and ceilings a little bit more. When you look at the teams in the top, put them, let's say, all at their absolute best as we've seen them this season, I think that we've seen Coventry reach a higher ceiling. I think we've seen Borough in particular, with some of their really good performances, hit a higher ceiling than Ipswich have with their best performances. But then on the flip side, I feel like the floor is lower. I've seen Coventry be terrible at times this season. I've seen Borough have games where they have 70% possession, 30 shots, and they lose it 2-0, or they draw 0-0 or whatever. Whereas, yes, there have been 1 or 2 exceptions for Ipswich. Take Wrexham, take Blades, take Leicester. It feels like the floor for them is lower, and maybe it is just a point of, if you're more in the middle, where, okay, maybe your best isn't as scintillatingly red hot as a Borough when they're in that position, but then when you have your bad moments, they're not as bad as what Coventry had at the turn of the year, where they were really struggling to put any form together and it was all about them tailing off, or Borough at the moment, where if they don't win against Birmingham, it's 4 without a win. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe that kind of middle ground is what can take you more towards the top 2 in a league that can be very volatile, I found, in swinging one way to another, more so than the last time that Ipswich were at this level, where every team just won every week and any single slip felt like it was going to be the end of the world. And I think we're kind of almost in a mindset again now of that, where sometimes you slip up and it's, oh, well, that's it, it's over now, which it probably would have been 2 years ago when it was up against Leeds and Leicester and Southampton. But with respect to Borough and with respect to Coventry, they are not that. And also Ipswich aren't the same team as they were 2 years ago. And maybe it's important to kind of separate the two things out a little bit more.
It's also important, I think, we're all falling into the trap of talking Coventry, Borough, Ipswich, or the fact that Millwall are above Ipswich in the table as it stands by 2 points. Hull are on equal points as well, and they've only played 1 extra game than Ipswich. I think we can probably draw the line there, can't we, in terms of top 2 contenders? But it's not just a 3-horse race at the moment. But Alex is right, it feels very different to last time. I don't know, pressure does funny things to people, doesn't it? Is it in Ipswich's favour that they've they've done it fairly recently. I know maybe that doesn't count for anything because it's pretty much a new group of players, but McKenna and his staff have been through it before, and a handful of the players have as well. Does that help? How are Coventry and Middlesbrough going to feel when that prize gets sort of within touching distance, and neither of them have been in the Prem for quite some time? Maybe a Millwall, who everyone's been writing off all season. Oh, they'll fade away. They won't last the pace. In much the same way, Ipswich felt those conversations. You remember Mark Ashton talking about, we heard the chatter in the boardrooms everywhere we went. We heard them saying Ipswich will fade away, but the underdogs, they stuck together and they got it done. You never know. It's a great league, isn't it? It's brilliant that we got so much. Every week there's shocks and surprises and twists and turns. It is still the most competitive league, I would imagine, in world football.